During the 6th Annual Culture Shift Awards brunch, Carnegie Hall was honored for their long history of music education and social impact. Clive Gillinson, the executive and artistic director at Carnegie Hall, sat down with Van Jones to share their story.
Today, before you go, you're going to hear from 3 amazing, extraordinary honorees, some of whom are doing stuff under the radar, some you may have heard of before, but all of whom have a quality that I think you'll recognize by the time it's over. So we're going to actually start with the good brother Clive Gillinson. Before we have a conversation with him, I want you to see this video. So cue the video, and then we're going to have a conversation with him.
We're New York City kids from different schools coming together with the common bond that we love music.
Music is a joyous thing.
Just to see a room full of people with the same passion is just incredible.
Living a life of love. Loving a life I live. Never be back. Never be back. Never be back in the street. Never be back in the streets.
To write something in a jail cell.
What is this?
And then to have them play it, it's really an honor.
It's always proud for us to share what we do.
Carnegie Hall has put so much into us, into these programs. I feel like it would be disrespectful not to put that much back out.
Wishes and dreams always will.
The Lullaby Project helps women with creating their own song for their child.
You are my all.
A young woman who has written this for her child, and then she gives me the honor of being able to give voice to it.
It makes you feel good. I feel a little bit like an artist.
To see something this genuine on this type of scale is one of the most powerful things that anybody will experience ever in their lives.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just a big deal because it's Carnegie Hall.
All of our songwriting workshops are challenges that we normally don't face in our everyday lives. But that's why music is so healing, because it's a collective experience, it's a communal experience. And it's a way that we can share something very intimate and deep and spiritual with each other, even if we're total strangers.
To me, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance.
It's something you put all your energy and your heart into.
I think it's gonna be life-changing for me.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, give another round of applause to that video. Hold on a second. When they said they were going to show a video from Carnegie Hall, I was like, okay, this is going to take some serious effort on my part, because you didn't think about Carnegie Hall when I was growing up. You weren't expecting to see the true face of the new America. There's something extraordinary happening at Carnegie Hall, as you saw. Give them a round of applause for the changes and the inclusion that you're seeing. So look, I'll hit this part and then we'll have a conversation. Look, Clive Gillinson is the executive director. He's the artist of Carnegie Hall. He's got his finger on the pulse of the next generation of talent, and he's been willing to make the changes in his tenure there to open that institution up, so you can see these kinds of young people, the new face of the new artists for America. And what we just wanted to do, first of all, is just to honor you and celebrate you for having the courage and the wisdom and the vision to continue to expand what's possible artistically inside those 4 walls, to bring whole new generations, whole new communities inside those 4 walls, and to change what's happening there. But you're weird. I mean,
that's a good place to start.
Help us understand why you're bringing this kind of spirit and this type of inclusion to an institution that has not always been so welcoming.
Well, I think my whole view on the arts is they are something that should be shared with everybody. The reason I ended up in America, in New York, was because of Carnegie Hall. To me, it is the greatest music institution in the world, and that means it has the greatest possibility of transforming people's lives. And I think for all of us, the challenge is not how exciting it is to be there, but how can we use every bit of the power of Carnegie Hall to change society, change the society we live in. And I think that's what the thrill is every day for all. I mean, there's a lot of us from Carnegie Hall here. It's the thrill of us, for all of us, every day waking up, knowing that we're able to do that. And there's lots of different ways we do that.
Yeah. So listen, you know, first of all, you know, you have this whole new generation, new talent, completely different problems, completely different perspectives. I mean, I saw every color in the Skittles bag, all performing music. I mean, that's not what you expect when you think about Carnegie Hall. And so somehow you guys have a commitment to do something really extraordinary in the arts, which you usually think of as not inclusive. What in your life, in your heart, has made you decide to go in this direction?
I think, to be honest, it's just an instinct. I mean, it's something that I just feel about life. I feel everybody has the right to have the opportunity to succeed and fulfill their talent. I mean, I suppose ever since I've thought about things, that seemed something that was just totally obvious. And somehow we have to use our lives to try and enable people to fulfill their talent. And if they can, they'll be happy, they'll contribute to society, we'll have a very different world.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are in rooms like that, you know, you've got kids from all 5 boroughs, what is it that allows art, that allows music to bridge divides that politics cannot bridge, apparently? The educational institutions apparently cannot bridge. We've been having this conversation in America for a long time, but somehow you have kids that probably would not agree on very much, at least their parents wouldn't, working together. What is it about art that lets that happen?
Well, I mean, art in general does, but music particularly, because music doesn't depend on any language. It can speak to everybody. One of the things you saw there, and one of the things that's important to us, is we're not about, you assumed we're about classical music. Everybody assumes we're about classical music, it's intimidating, it may not be for me, it's difficult. We're about music and the best of music, and that means every sort of music. And when you look at our education work, the kids we're working with don't know which is classical music and which is jazz and which is world music, because we're just teaching them about music. And we don't want any barriers. I mean, we feel it's really important that they should engage with music, and I think what it does is it's a fundamental part not only of fulfilling people's ability to express themselves, but it has all sorts of other dimensions. I mean, you need a tremendous amount of discipline, creativity, entrepreneurial skills. It brings out a lot of that. And all of our education work, we're engaging with the kids. They're helping to compose music, they're writing poetry, they are working as partners in creativity. Just like you saw the scene as well from Sing Sing, where we've been doing work in the prisons. Just the same thing. I mean, the prisoners, the inmates we work with them. It requires very specially and highly skilled musicians to develop this sort of work. It's very challenging, but what they're doing is they're enabling the inmates both to create poetry that is around their own lives and their own problems and the challenges and all the things they have to face. And then we work together with them, and they are part of developing the music that they perform. And for them, that is transformational. And it is for kids in the same way.
Okay, look, I'm just confused. Were you in prison? Are you just light-skinned? Are you a brother?
Well, I was born in Bangalore, but
so you ain't been to prison.
Look, we're all brothers.
I agree with you on that. But,
yeah.
but let me, yes. So you haven't been to prison. You're not from the United States. You're not a person of color. Somehow, for some reason, though, you've taken all these artistic and professional risks to include all these people who are so different, and you found this universal language of music. Why?
I suppose music's been the most inspiring thing. It's driven my life. It's been the most inspiring thing in my life. I think the things that make your life special, you want everybody else to share.
Well, first of all, I think we should give you a round of applause. We will have no idea. Yeah, another round of applause. I guarantee you, every single person in this room, there was some program. There was something that happened in their lives. Some uncle or aunt or parent or grandparent said, go try out for this, go do this.
Absolutely.
And it opened up a whole different world. The people in this room that, but for the arts, but for sports, but for somebody doing something to give us a chance, would have had a very different life.
Absolutely.
And the only tragedy that you have, you will never know how much good you've done. You will never know how, because you look 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, some of these young people will be out there doing stuff because of what you've done. And that's why we wanted to honor you. Please give him another round of applause for his great work.
Well, thank you.
Really, really extraordinary stuff.